Today I'm going to show you how to make yogurt, and I'm a big fan of yogurt, especially a thick, creamy Greek yogurt. But whenever I look for a plant-based yogurt in the store, I find that it has emulsifiers and thickeners that I just don't want to eat. And so I'm going to show you how to make yogurt with one ingredient, soy milk. This is my favorite brand of soy milk, but whatever brand you buy, make sure you look at the ingredients because you want it to contain only soybeans and water, nothing else. Now this is a 64-ounce carton and it's perfect. You can find these at Walmart, and I can't stand to use that little opening there because it just takes so long to get all the soy milk to glug out of it. So I just open the side and then I cut a little air vent on this side. And you can make this in jars if you want to make it in individual jars. But because I'm going to strain it and make Greek yogurt, I'm going to make everything in this typical Corelle baking dish. So first things first, let's get this milk in the bowl. And the only other thing we need to add is our starter. And starter is just basically a few tablespoons of your last batch of yogurt. If you do not have a starter, then go to the grocery store and buy a plain yogurt that has no additives, and make sure it has live cultures. And use that for your first batch, and then from that point forward, every time you make your yogurt, just save a little bit in a jar and you'll always have your own starter. I think this starter is probably on its 50th generation by now, at least. And this little jar is a jar that I got capers in. So I don't know, it probably holds about 3 ounces, but you want about 3 heaping tablespoons. And let's whisk this really well so we distribute that starter throughout all the soy milk. The only thing that is left to do is to culture the yogurt, the fermentation process. And this needs to happen at 110 degrees. Now, most standard ovens will not operate at 110 degrees, but a lot of countertop ovens will. And so I'm going to pop this in my countertop oven at 110 degrees, and I like it to culture for about 12 hours. That gives it a really rich, full-bodied taste. My yogurt's in the oven, and I usually make my yogurt right before bed. When I get up the next morning, it's ready to go. Now that my yogurt has cooled, I want to strain it, and I bought this gadget on Amazon and I love it. It is basically a cheesecloth system, and it has this compartment that I'll put the yogurt in and it'll drain into this container below. You don't have to have a strainer like this. You can strain it through cheesecloth in a wire mesh strainer if you want. But this was definitely a gadget that I would buy again. So let's slide our yogurt in here and we'll start the draining process. Now this is just basic yogurt as is, but Greek yogurt is strained yogurt. So I'll put the lid on this and we'll let it rest in the refrigerator for 24 hours and check it tomorrow. Tomorrow, this consistency will be perfect if you like yogurt as a parfait or with fresh fruit. It's been 24 hours since we put our yogurt in our strainer, and let's take a look at how much water we drained out of this yogurt so far. So that is right at 2 cups. But we have a nice, creamy, rich Greek yogurt consistency. And this is a really great consistency for a parfait or to serve with fresh fruit. Now, sometimes what I'll do is I'll take some of the yogurt out at this consistency, but I'll leave some in the strainer and put it back in the fridge. And tomorrow or the next day when I take it out, I'm going to have a really thick, spreadable Greek yogurt. The weather has been really hot here, so I took some of this out at this stage so that we can have a refreshing parfait later, and I'll pop the rest of it in the refrigerator and we'll take a look at it tomorrow. It's day 3. Let's take a look at this and see how much more water drained out of the yogurt. So we got a little over a cup, And this is our result. This is so thick, it just piles on the spoon, and it is incredibly thick and spreadable. One of my favorite things to do when my Greek yogurt reaches this really thick stage is to make an onion dip. And I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, we would make an onion dip out of the little packets of onion soup mix in the store. And those just have so much junk in them that I don't want to buy it. So I use my homemade onion soup mix, and I'm just going to stir a little bit of that into this yogurt, and we'll have a really great onion spread. And I've got about a cup of yogurt here, and this is my onion soup mix, and I've got the link down below if you want to give it a try. And I'm just going to throw in a couple tablespoons, and we'll give this a stir. I'm going to go ahead and give this a taste, but because this is made with dried onions, it's best if it sits for a couple of hours before serving. But I want to go ahead and check the flavor and see if I need to add any more of the onion soup mix. I like this just like it is. I'll store this in the fridge and we'll have it later when we're ready for a snack. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss the recipe next week when we take this Greek yogurt and make tzatziki sauce. And I'll see you then.